Hey guys, Legendary Grimlock here, and this is actually going to be one of my shorter versus videos because, again, these characters are simple to scale, and I think the results should be simple, excuse me, but, yeah, Bay vs. Bumblebee versus Black Suit Sam Raimi Spider-Man. Without further ado, let's begin. We'll go to the low ends, and we'll go to the high ends. So, let's start off with Bumblebee, right? Bumblebee is obviously an Autobot warrior as of the update of the last night. Okay, so it took him forever to get promoted to that rank here. I feel like that was kind of dirty of you, Optimus. But again, you didn't have a lieutenant to do it, so, you know, you were very busy. Now, Bumblebee is actually incredibly strong. Believe it or not, one of the most casual feats for him is overpowering Skids and Mudflap during one of their brawls and casually manhandling them and tossing them like it's nothing. Now, Skids and Mudflap do have some very good scaling for a lot of the lower tier Autobots in the Bayverse, with only a few exceptions being up there with, or at least comparable to, Optimus and Megatron. Those would be like Ironhide, Jazz, and Ratchet. So the 07 team would definitely be the strongest team, right? So with this being consistent, and even in other comic iterations of it, it's very consistent for Skids and Mudflat to be able to harm Devastator. Devastator has been able to one-shot skyscrapers. It's confirmed in the bio book, or the guidebook to Revenge of the Fallen, that Devastator is actually confirmed to one-shot a skyscraper. This puts Bumblebee already at a city block or even multi-city block level with him being able to do this. Bumblebee also comes with a standard amount of gadgets and stuff there, like his grappling hook, which is capable of grabbing and throwing around ships like it's nothing. Excuse me. He's also got missiles, obviously his signature plasma cannon, which actually is supposed to burn as hot as the sun, I believe it is. It's absolutely ridiculous. He also has missiles and stuff like that. And in his vehicle mode, don't forget, he has his Stealth Force mode. Now, Stealth Force, turns your basic car into a pretty much a speedy tank here. Yeah, I know, it's absolutely ridiculous. But overall, yeah, they are very strong. Bumblebee's very strong, very durable, and he's actually incredibly fast. He's comparable to characters like Jolt, who you can actually use his lightning as a speed scaling for other Cybertronians. So with that out of the way, I think it's very clear how fast and strong Bumblebee is. At a base level or a low ball level, let's move on to his opponent, Spider-Man. Now, Sam Raimi Spider-Man is absolutely ridiculous. Definitely the strongest live-action Spider-Man till date. I mean, and then giving him the black suit, which amplifies his strength. Not sure what the multiplier would be, but again, it does amplify his strength level. So let's start off with basically his already city block level feats and stuff there, right? So he's casually able to beat down Sandman, and during their fight, they were able to cause earthquakes that were felt throughout all of Manhattan. Again, it is absolutely ridiculous on how that AP with that black suit was. I mean, fighting Sandman, being able to even harm him still, and even harm him with his attacks with the black suit on, is absolutely ridiculous. Keep in mind, he was also able to take attacks from Sandman while Venom was pinning him down. No diddy. So Spider-Man being able to cause earthquakes felt throughout all of Manhattan should be pretty simple here. There's also the sheer fact that he is stronger than the other Spider-Man as well, and should be more durable, with Sony Spider-Man, or Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, being able to take attacks from Electro powered up by the grid, which caused him to pretty much absorb the energy of, I think, at least a couple city blocks. So again, ridiculous. There's also the sheer fact that when he was beating his Green Goblin was actually able, was actually begging him, to stop. Meanwhile, when it came to Tom Holland, or MCU Spider-Man, yeah, the Spine Buster was still legendary to this day. And keep in mind, in Spider-Man 2, he was also able to withstand the pressure and the force of, force of a fusion reactor, which again generated city block destroying energy. Again, absolutely ridiculous here. Keep in mind, he also has his Spidey sense. He also has his organic webbing. Again, he's the only Spider-Man with organic webbing so far. And yeah, I mean that pretty much covers it. His speed as well should be a lot higher than the others, especially with the black suit on, especially when considering the sheer fact they all have been able to dodge an amped Electro's, lightning and stuff like that, being able to not only dodge that, and again, it was amplified by Tony Stark's arc reactor, or an arc reactor in general here, a miniature Iron Man reactor, stuff like that here. So yeah, Toby should be easily in the city block level ranges, or multi-city block level, because again, he's scaling above both Spider-Man, which have those kind of feats here. And the black suit just amplifies the strength altogether. Organic webbing, much more aggressive, much more stronger, much faster, etc. So without further ado, let's begin. So it's pretty obvious that Pete takes the edge in speed, agility, and IQ. I think that's pretty simple here. Now, there are higher ends for both of these characters, okay? You could easily get Tobey Spider-Man with attack potency, not destructive capability, to planetary, okay? Again, attack potency, not destructive capability, all right? And again, this is a highball. However, you could actually argue it. Now, the reason why I'm saying that is because both of these characters have their higher ends. It's just that Bumblebee's is more consistent, and again, his higher ends are, well, way higher than Tobey's higher ends here. The reason why I say that is because Bumblebee is capable of dealing damage to higher ranking Cybertronians. He should be a lot stronger by the time of the Last Night and Age of Extinction, should be capable of high diffing, okay, hear me out, high diffing Jazz and Ironhide. The reason why I'm saying that is because in both the novelizations of Ghost of Yesterday and in other forms of the Bayverse media, and again, yes, we will be counting other forms of the MCU media as well, including things like the Spider-Man 3 game where he fought Kraven, the Lizard, etc. Yeah, so again, just to keep it fair for both. The higher ends for Bumblebee being able to high diff two of Optimus Prime's second in commands here should be noteworthy here, considering the sheer fact that Jazz is able to consistently beat Blackout, has been able to one-shot Brawl, and has been able to beat both Blackout and Starscream at the same time, who are very much capable of harming Optimus Prime here. And keep in mind with Tobey's, or yeah, Bully Maguire over here, yeah, he's capable of overpowering and pretty much just would probably like low diff, or well, probably stump out if he had the black suit on, right? And he's comparable, if not straight out superior to, again, Tom Holland or MCU Spider-Man. Same Spider-Man that was able to stop attacks and consistently, mind you, overpower the likes of Cole Obsidian, who was giving a bleeding edge Iron Man some difficulty consistently. And this is important because Iron Man was able to draw blood from an Infinity Gauntlet Thanos and was able to overpower the Power Stone. So again, this will make MCU Iron Man at planetary. Now, yes, there are universal metas for the MCU, but again, let's be real here. Those really apply to characters like Thor, Scarlet Witch, and Doctor Strange, excuse me. But again, with Bumblebee, his higher ends are more consistent as he would scale above characters that should be comparable to Optimus Prime, even being able to fight against a much stronger Optimus Prime post his amp by grabbing the Sword of Judgment and again upgrading himself to pretty much a, I guess you could say, similar to a Knight level, right? Now this is important because this Optimus was able to go toe-to-toe with Galvatron. Galvatron modified himself, or Megatron modified his Galvatronian body with parts and components of Devastator, using it as pretty much making himself powered up by a black hole, which will put him again at solar system levels. Solar system levels are pretty much consistent within the Bayverse, as Optimus getting an amp from the Matrix, which actually contained the power of the Allspark and the knowledge of the Primes, the same Allspark that's capable of eating supernovas to power itself up, which again would put him at solar system level. There's even been some evidence that the sparks of Cybertronians have been known to basically rival that of stars themselves. So again, Bumblebee's own spark could be considered solar system level if you want to go with those metas. Me personally, I don't use it because the Allspark basically powered up temporarily, only for it to die like shortly after. So it's, again, not very consistent here. But again, Bumblebee should be able to not only beat a lot of the '07 Decepticons like Blackout, Brawl. I mean, he should be able to like definitely tear apart Brawl at that point. I mean, his cannon basically did most of the work. But again, Brawl was taking a whole lot of abuse through that movie, so maybe Bumblebee would get it done high to extreme diff here. But again, Bumblebee should be around those levels, and with his higher ends being more consistent, him being able to automatically repair himself, so that means if Toby tries to rip an arm off, he'll just simply attach it like it's nothing here. And again, just the sheer fact that Bumblebee has all these weapons and abilities and is comparable in speed, this means that he could hit Toby a lot more times with a lot more deadlier means than Toby could do to him. So at the end of the day, yeah, Baver's Bumblebee takes it mid to low difficulty. But that's going to be all today, guys. Please comment down below, like and subscribe, and share with your friends. This is Legendary Grimlock, and I hope you have a blessed day.